What's up, everyone? Today we have a Echo SRM-265S. It's a weed eater that has a couple problems. One, the owner apparently burns himself quite often. Garage dog helping out. And that makes sense because there's no cover to the exhaust, so you put your arm down there and it's going to be instantly singed. It also says it doesn't want to start very easy. When it does, it bogs down, it just idles. Which, considering that, it's not too surprising. Get it fixed. I mean, I could definitely put in another primer bulb and fuel lines and clean it up and put it through the cleaner. Not too concerned with that. I still have to buy a filter. Probably need a new plug, or at least clean that one. And I don't really want to do that. So, for the price of a filter and the gasket kit that would need to do this anyway, because I'm sure that if that's broken, it's probably going to need to be cleaned out anyway. I just got a brand new one. It's in here. It's from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below, but it should work out pretty good. This, however, is not from Amazon. This I couldn't find. It's the cover. It goes right there. This I actually had to find on eReplacementParts.com. But that is the number right there, if anyone needs it. My only concern is it only has one screw and it goes in there. Hoping it's not stripped out because it's plastic, but if it is, we'll find a way to attach it. It's not too hard. Okay, so I'm going to put you in your little stool. Be right back. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I think this kit was like $12. That's disgusting. Hey, look at that. That's not looking promising. You know what? I think you're probably better suited on the other side. Okay, so it's not a very good way of doing this, so you can see. So hopefully this is okay. But oh, you're teeter-tottering too. There we go. It's hard to tell, but there's dots on these screws, so not the standard screwdriver. I'm telling you, I think I use this more than anything else. Of course, I say that often. Maybe it just changes. Who knows? Screws are forever long. But they're pretty high quality, so that's good. I actually prefer Echo over Steel's, hands down. They're easier to work on. I never seem to have too many problems with them, and when I do, it's pretty easy. And they're cheap. Well, cheap to fix. It does open up. I think Garage Dog wants in. Let me let her in real quick. Okay. Hopefully the constant distractions are gone. Primer bulb. You probably won't be using that. Still is nice to have though for future projects. fuel lines, word of caution, I'm not going to be using these, at least not for the actual fuel line. It's pretty cheap, but the filter I definitely will. Speaking of filters, another one, that's good. Table stirred, that's too bad, but areas we're not going to be touching. New gasket, another primer bulb. Oh my god. New cheap spark plug. Get another gasket. I guess that one's a little bit different. And this is sometimes the part that's annoying. They don't always match. And this is one of those times. Ooh, and got dirty already. I do believe they completely sent me the wrong carb. What is this? This is nonsense. Someone's getting a bad review. It's like the carb you get like on a Ryobi. Okay. Let me do some looking around and see if I have another one. I sometimes carry these. Well, I do not have one. It's insanely annoying. I just checked to see if I just mistyped it and said no. The picture's what I need, the description's what I need. They just flat out sent the wrong one. So we're going to be cleaning this. So I don't feel like waiting. That's not too bad. It's dirty, but it's at least the lines don't feel horrible. We'll still replace them, but the grommet also doesn't feel bad, so it might not be as bad off as I originally thought. The grimy ones like this can be a little difficult. You twist it, and then you go. Perfect. And let's take this off. Oh, they both just came off. That's good. Okay, let's put this in the carb station. We will be right back. Man, it still just gets me about this. It's annoying. It's a Zama carb, so I should have all the pieces. But still, that means I have to go through the process, send it back, get refunded, have to drive to UPS. So if anyone's ever heard me talk about UPS, I'm not a fan. Some people have zero problems with UPS. I seem to never have a good experience. Maybe it's where I live. I don't know. This is not too great. We'll replace the diaphragm. Got the ultrasonic cleaner started. Luckily it's already at 30 degrees Celsius. Usually don't put it in there until it says it's about 40. But usually it rises pretty fast once I actually start it. Pretty sure it has something to do with the actual ultrasonic process as well, like how the bubbles are formed. So, I guess this is kind of a good learning experience. Taking these apart, there is one difference that can make or break this carburetor. Let's put this in the cleaner. Kind of a Tecumseh bowl I just used. This is trash. Let's take off the top. This is the part that you want to be careful on after you take all the screws out. Let's angle you a little bit better. So one on the side. There's not. Okay, so this is the hard part. Why is it not coming off very easily? Oh, there is one on the side just covered in dirt. I knew there was one on the side. There's always one on the side. Okay. I'm going to take this out very slowly, and we'll see if you drop anything. Okay, good, I didn't. You see in there, that little tiny piece, that actually comes out. Maybe this one doesn't. I'm suspicious if it doesn't. It does. See? That, if it falls off, sometimes it's made of brass. It's a lot easier to see. But if that falls off and you do not notice, you will be... Oh, that's why there's one more screw in the center. You'll be pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and you'll just wonder why it's not starting. Well, that's the reason why, right there. I like to put them in groups. That we're not going to mess with too much. So in here, this little black piece is the jet. It's an adjustable jet. Sometimes you can take it out with pretty decent ease. Today's not one of those days, apparently. Sometimes it's not even there. Well, the jet's always there, but this little topper isn't. this is one of the adjustments that you can do on it. I'm going to work on this real quick. Okay, that's done. Let's take a look at this. I don't think we'll have to replace anything or even really do much with this, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I might blow that out a little bit though. You don't actually want to put your air compressor on it though, because there's these checks in there. Put this and that in the cleaner. We'll be right back. Okay. Put the needle. There we go. Let me take the arm, put the needle on it, pin, I like to guide the needle in first, and then find where the spring should ride, like that, and adjust to fit. The entire time I was just like stewing over the fact that I even had to do this. Stewing, I tell you. Okay. Next we have the gasket. And the new diaphragm. At this point, if you wanted to check it, you could. I don't really have any suspicion of flooding, so I'm not going to. See how keeping them in groups keeps it organized. Only 2 screws. Probably goes here. Okay. Next, we're going to put this back on. Like that. Like so. But now, there we are. Oh, no. Almost forgot. There we go. Now, that should work. Put it so it's snug down but not tight right now. last like week or two, it's been like 74. It's been nice. And then randomly at the end of September, maybe literally the end of September, I got an 85 or 6 degree day. I'm sweating. Should hear like a little squeeze of air. There we go. Now you have to find this little piece and find the pliers. So I use it to take it off. Oh, I put it back. I'll put it back on. Probably don't always have to take it off, but it just saves you from worrying about it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So that jet that I showed you earlier is for the main. If you need to adjust the idle, it's down there. These cube carburetors, just like all the others, have 2 adjustments. But I'm not going to worry about them right now. If it doesn't run right, I will, but it should be good. Okay, let's do the fuel lines. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, this is my most unfavorite part. So I took the fuel line out and got another one approximately the same length, except this one's a little longer. I may also put a cut into it, if you can tell, or like an angle on it. That way it assists in the shoving in process. Now, we also kind of want to figure out what side is what. That's the return. This is the in. Okay. So there's 2 holes. So just make it easy. That's the fuel in. That's the return. Now, granted, you don't have to do it that way. Got it. Clip that off. New fuel filter on. Push this inside. aiming for it to be in the middle. There we go. And then same thing with the return. There we go. Now that that's done, they're obviously too long, but we're going to mount this. And yeah, it's a little dirty, I'm not gonna lie, but the gasket surfaces are fine. And in a week, it's going to be dirty anyway, as long as the areas that are clean, that matter, which they are clean. The only downside, I guess, to that is your hands sometimes get dirtier, so if you're doing something delicate, you're going to have to take, that in consideration. But you don't have to be super clean about it. You can, don't get me wrong, you can make this as clean as you want. I'm probably going to wipe it off a little bit anyway, but now the inside, the air filter area, that is something that you do want to clean. Because obviously you don't want anything in the actual engine. Okay, so the return, we don't care if it has a little angle on it. But we do want to make sure it's not too long, because what will happen if it is, if you put it on, it will crimp the line, and nothing will get through it. The fuel line, same exact thing, except you have a little bit of leeway. Why can't I see it? Because the fuel line can always be shoved down a little bit more if you need to. I guess so can the return too, but the return's not meant to be super long. Okay. And that's pretty simple to shove it on there. That rocket scientist, it's not that hard on that one. Okay. For the throttle. Get you closer so you can see this. Throttle can sometimes be a little bit of a pain. Pull it out as much as you can. And then you want to make sure one side has a little hole drilled out on the side of it to allow for the end to slide in. Then it stops in the center, and one side is straight. The side straight is the one that needs to be facing this, and right now it's the way it's oriented the way it should be. So let us do that. If we pull on it and then give this a twist, pulling it from the throttle, I mean, it should find its way in. That's not normal now, is it? Are you missing a piece? No. I don't think so. Why is that line so much longer? So if I hold it, there might be something wrong with the trigger. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong here. Let's take a look at that trigger. So we have not Phillips head, of course. I think it's a T25. Yeah. Is there another one somewhere? Looks like it's missing one right there anyway. That one's a Phillips head. Does it snap into place? Is that what's happening here? There we are. Along the bottom over here. Oh, this one's stripped out pretty decently, that's why. And again, this is why you don't use you don't use the right screwdriver when taking this stuff out. So, where's this throttle cable? Get out. That's why I hate when people have been in there. You know that someone tried to fix this beforehand and messed it all up. I think that's the right screw. Okay, anyway. And wires are disconnected. It wouldn't have even shut off. And that plot thickens. Well, this one's connected, kind of. Connect these wires appropriately first. Okay, so it's a giant pain. I tried to record it, but it contained too much unfamily-friendly stuff. But reconnected the wires. You can see the little wire butts there, and then that little guide is where the cable goes. It was off, and it's kind of hard to show on camera because the full thing isn't connected, but it moves it just fine, so I'm going to put everything back together. Oh man, that was insanely annoying. The cable, because the handle was a little too short, so I had to take off the top of another carburetor. Luckily, I have a few. This is a little stash that I have. That's why sometimes I don't throw them away. Sometimes I like to keep them. And it's usually ones I think are useful, like this style is pretty useful. Older ones definitely are. A couple of everything, really. There's even a couple Tecumsehs, even though I pretty much never rebuild those. And there's off chance that one day I do have to. I want to have the ability to, at least. But as you can tell, it's a little shifty. The cables are obviously not the right type, and it's like it's missing a mount. I don't know. Put a new filter in though. So hopefully this is not important to this machine. I'm just going to put it in the other one. I have a feeling though it is. Because when I tried to put the old one back in, it's not wanting to. Okay. Yeah. Probably going to have to put that back on. Okay, let me do that real quick. Might as well bring you along for the ride. It's a good thing I checked. It looks fine from the throat, but the throat is so small it's hard to really see anything. So, when I looked, it seemed fine. But as you can tell, it's definitely not. That would have been a fairly substantial vacuum leak, to say the least. Well, would it be a vacuum leak? Finally. Do you ever have those kids that have houses but they don't play in front of them? They rather play in front of yours for whatever reason. I have that problem, and it's annoying. It's not even like it's close either. It's like 2 blocks down. Let's see if this still works. I had to remove basically this entire area. Let's see, will this fit in there? Yeah, but that's the same problem. I don't know. I guess there's only one way to find out. What ends up happening is that someone had melted this handle and caused this cable to be at a different location because the location it was supposed to be on is broken. So it was always just too tight. So hopefully removing that spacer will be fine. It's not too squirrely. Let's just check it out. That's pretty sketchy. I guess it is only that much more to full. That's full. Yeah, let's try it anyway. I'm going to tighten this up, put it back together, and bring it back. Sometimes even my ingenuity surprises me. I put a small washer in the throat of that had a hole big enough for the linkage to go through, but was just big enough to fit through the guide hole of the actual housing. Put 2 of those little bad boys in there. Now it does have full throttle, but it returns to idle like clockwork. Okay, well, I'm going to clean up because there's a lot of crap around, and then we will put you in a safer location and we'll see what's going on. So one way, I forgot to throw this away, you can kind of tell that you're on the right track with the carburetor is if you fill it with fuel. Well, in my case, I'm going to put like a quarter of a tank, and it pumps up pretty easily. You know that the carb is probably not entirely blocked. You did a pretty good job cleaning it, and if there's no leaks, that's even better. But it also tells you that your fuel line is where it should be, the filter is where it should be, and there it is. You probably can't see that. Brand new. Everything you saw me put the fuel in there, and look, it's perfect. Is it wet? Right. Oh, it's the oil from the. There we go. So let's see what happens. Let's put you over here. Try to do this all in one continuous shot. There we are. You get to be close and personal with the air check. That's choke. So far we're not doing too well on that, are we? Maybe we turn it off choke. Throttle. full throttle. Well, I definitely think it needs a little tuning. Can't really see down there. But it's doing what it kind of needs to. Let's do some tuning. Get some screwdrivers out. So when looking down there, I can't really see much of a adjustment, but I do know that you can adjust that nut on the top. That might help. But let me turn it on, and then we'll do that. That's not an adjustment per se, but what it will do is I noticed that when I was doing the linkage, it was a little tight. So possibly, I'm hoping, oh, I put the screw in the bottom. I'm hoping that it's just because it was too tight and maybe just squeezing that, allowing the fuel to go through. Also notice that my wire for the shut off. So let's give it a yank. See what happens. Try no choke first. Well, be. You know what I think it was? The wire for the kill was dangling there. Maybe it was touching the metal a little bit because it was shaking. Don't know. But I did loosen it. Maybe that's all I needed. It was too tight. Everything else is good to go. I might want to run a little bit, but I think this is pretty much set. I don't really know what else I would need to do to it. I would check the spark arrestor if there was one. The dude told me he took it out. And maybe a spark plug. But I'll let that cool first. Okay, well, if you like what you see, definitely keep on watching. Throw a thumbs up, that helps me a lot. I will keep on posting. You keep on watching. Definitely subscribe. I'll be posting some more different projects besides lawnmowers and just boring stuff. Be doing a couple more things throughout the wintertime. The wintertime is a fun time in this garage. It's not just for making some extra cash and really building towards the winter. Mini bikes, working on some long tractors for the springtime, old restorations, stuff like that. I mean, full restorations. So, if you like what you see, like I said, keep watching, definitely subscribe, and I will catch everyone later. Bye.